Hello, I'm MP5 Deacon, and welcome back to Loomings. We'll be doing the third mission, Den of the Beast. Let me fix my settings though real quick. There we go.
Lieutenant, we have accessed the installation's primary bioscanners and have ascertained that there is still a number of Confederate scientists inside.
What? I'm the only one who has the installation's access codes. How did you override my security clearance?
I told you before, Magistrate. We don't answer to you. We are to infiltrate the installation and evacuate any remaining Confederate personnel. Now let's move, gentlemen. We're on a tight schedule.
Alright, let's get this started.
Turn up the heat.
It's a 96 by 96, so it should not be too bad. And since these guys one-shot... Oh, not quite.
You got my attention.
32. So I'm gonna actually make a save real quick. Just because 2 fire bats, a whole mission, doesn't sound the best to me.
You got my attention. Slamming. You got it. Let's burn.
Security cameras activated.
Join.
Got it. Sir, we've located the scientists. Slamming. You got it.
So this should be an okay, kind of easygoing mission. Never mind.
Slamming.
But it's where we do get to see
Watch your
the...
backs. This place must be crawling with xenomorphs. Let's burn. Naturally. You got it.
We do get to see the effectiveness of fire bats here.
Naturally.
I don't think we're really going to see any hydralisks or anything bigger than the Zerglings there.
Yes.
Which means these guys get to shine.
Naturally.
Hey, they must be the rescue unit. Open the door.
Slamming.
There we go.
Fire it up. You got it. Naturally.
Nice.
Got it.
The security system's all out of whack. Be careful, boys.
Naturally. Slamming. Let's burn.
So, I kind of like how the Loomings campaign,
Let's burn. You got it.
it kind of gently introduces players into the idea of how campaign missions are going to work. And overall, I really like how
Let's burn.
the Starcraft campaign is designed.
Got it.
I think even some of the worst missions, especially once we get into the third campaign,
Let's burn.
are designed to kind of test your ability. It's an interesting thing.
You got it.
I believe they're all designed to kind of not just build up in difficulty, but kind of use an increase in skill.
You got
Are you
it.
worth it?
Room secure, sir.
Slamming. Naturally.
Are you sure about that?
You got it.
I mean, those 2 gratings there.
Naturally. You got it. Let's
Why do you laugh? You know, it just seems a little suspicious.
Rock and roll.
You got my attention.
So that's our first real
You got it.
encounter with stairs.
Yes.
I always forget these gears are actually terrain.
Fire it up. Let's burn.
Yeah,
Got
it's
it. Naturally.
it's kind of nice how it builds you up. And so when we look at the first
You got it.
Rebel Yell, it's made in the idea that you're not going to be playing
Naturally.
through the Loomings campaign here. But the Loomings campaign doesn't quite interfere with that, because once we get to Mission 4, I think things change enough where...
Naturally. You got it. Let's burn.
Well, mission... No, because there's 1, 2, 3... Yeah, it is 4.
You got it. Let's burn.
We're trapped in here, surrounded by hostiles, requesting immediate backup.
Fire it up.
I think I'll go ahead and turn subtitles on for the next video,
Naturally.
so that you guys can easily read that.
You got it.
I want to keep him alive.
You got my attention. Slamming.
Especially these micro missions. I mean, this one's even easier than the first one. I think it has to do that you're mostly fighting Zerg here, and you can
Let's burn.
really not have to deal with them in
Fire it up. You got it.
ranged engagements, which gives you a lot more
You got it.
leeway.
Naturally.
Check that out. They're trapped.
Let's burn. Yes. Fire it up. Naturally.
That's all that
Fire
matters.
it up.
These hero fire bats are just so powerful.
Slam it.
They can.
You got it.
I mean, look at that. 3 armor, 160 health.
Let's burn.
They're essentially human tanks.
Naturally. You
I
got
love them.
it.
They're perfect.
Let's burn. Naturally.
So I do think we have to run all the way back, which is where those
Got it.
holes were not going to come out of earlier, kind of
You got it.
creating
Slam it.
problem.
Naturally. You got it.
Yeah, so as I get back to talking about the campaign, I do feel that it kind of assesses certain skills, particularly to micromanage.
Naturally. Slam it.
It's not quite to the degree of
You got it. Slam it.
Age of Empires, if you played that, where you had, I think it's the Gauntlet,
You got it.
is what it's called, or no, the Hunt. The Hunt's the name of the mission, and that is
Slam it. You got
sheer
it.
pain and suffering in the original. They made it better than the definitive edition, but essentially you have to go through
Naturally.
immense blockades.
Naturally.
Let's go. Standing by. Go, go, go.
And these blockades are just...
Fire it up.
Jacked up and good to go. Outstanding.
I don't even know how you're supposed to complete the mission normally.
Outstanding.
It's in the Babylonian campaign. I think they make you play as Greece for the mission.
Slam it.
Surprise, surprise, you don't play as Babylon for the majority of the Babylonian missions. Who would have thought?
You got my attention.
So, we're just gonna say... Yeah...
I'm going. Alright, I'm going.
Commander.
Hey there, don't sweat.
You're gonna die because you're on stupidity. I have no problems with that.
You got my attention. Want to turn up the heat.
Oh wait, we can't go this way.
Up. Naturally.
Anyways,
Your forces are under attack.
Want to turn up the heat.
it doesn't reach that level,
The heat.
although it does get on a tedium. So I think it has the right idea, it just doesn't necessarily execute it the best.
Slam it. You got it.
Let's move.
I really honestly gotta wonder how those scientists got themselves in such a predicament where they're locked in with... Well, maybe they had door controls there.
Fire it up.
There's
Naturally.
no way to open the section up without letting the Zerg out.
Slam it. Let's burn. Naturally. Slam it.
Give me something to shoot.
Fire it up. Naturally.
Make your way down through.
Yes. You got it.
This is what I mean. And it doesn't help that the game is made in sectors, so each map is actually... Kind of think of it as Doom if you're familiar with how that works. So there's grid sectors essentially everywhere.
Turn up the heat.
And these help influence pathfinding rather greatly, especially when you're between or on borders, well, close to them. And on slopes is the worst. But yeah, this is a pretty easy mission. I mean, not too taxing. We lost like 3-4 units.
You got my attention.
Definitely less difficult than
Naturally.
I think Jacobson's. I'm not sure if that's the name
Fire it
of
up.
the mission. I could be mistaken.
Let's burn. Slam it.
So,
You got my attention.
going back to the campaign, it does end up going into some tedium, but it's not too bad. So we'll see, especially once we get to the third campaign, some rough missions. It's the hardest, and it does contain the hardest mission in normal Starcraft. There are harder. 40. Why is he colored different? Anyways, it's just worth mentioning, I think. Because it does show some design and some overall thought to the actual campaign structure, which is kind of interesting and new, because Command & Conquer really didn't do that. It just did your standard difficulty increase. It didn't feel like it was asking for more skills in use of your spellcasting abilities, but Starcraft really seems to kind of push players that way. The problem is you could always default to, just saving and loading, so it's not the tightest, but I think it's interesting to look at. Anyways, this has been episode 3. We'll be back on Friday for the 4th mission. Enjoy.